Kellie, welcome to Chief Customer Officer Secrets. I'm going to start by saying a massive congratulations on your recent promotion. You've gone from VP of CS to Chief Customer Officer at Gainsight, a path which I know many people would like to do in their career at some point. So wanted to start off with the congratulations to you.
Yay! All right.
Here we go. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you as Chief Customer Officer. And why don't we start with you just talking about what it means to be a Chief Customer Officer at Gainsight?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Gemma alluded to, I've been in this role for about 5 months now. So really the big leap for me from VP to CCO was really kind of spreading my wings and expanding my remit and charter to include the broader post-sales organization, which has been a ton of fun. I'm very fortunate, I will say, to have such strong leaders over support and professional services and the broader post-sales organization, that it's been a rather seamless, I would say, transition, and it's been fun learning other pockets of the business. The way I think about sort of my ultimate responsibility as CCO, what I task myself with day in and day out, is really being the number one customer advocate and injecting just customer centricity into every single conversation across the business. So I think that is like the ultimate responsibility, if you will, the CCO. I believe that customer success is really what I call the learning engine of the business. There's so much goodness at our fingertips that we collect day in and day out, and being able to really weave that into conversations both with the executive team, with our board, drawing those cross-functional, alliances and collaboration across the organization. For me, that's probably one of the most exciting evolutions I've seen, as we've gone from the really early nascent days of customer success, where we're just trying to get people to understand, what do we mean by CSMs and what do they do? And we're really starting to make those leaps and bounds towards customer success being that company-wide imperative, with a lot more momentum and energy behind it.
Absolutely. And, off the back of that growth of customer success, as and we've talked about this, the reason why we're doing this series is because we feel that there's so much growth of CS on the front lines. There's a lot more CSM roles out there. But there's not yet that representation of customer success at the executive level. If you take the example of Chief Customer Officer, there's really not many Chief Customer Officers out there. So why do you think that is?
I think as more folks embrace fundamentally what it means to operate in a subscription economy, they realize that customer success is an extension of sales. And really you're in a continuous sales cycle with your customers. The charters of what the two teams do at the most basic kind of surface level are different, but ultimately everyone's trying to orient and drive the customer towards their desired business outcomes, which in turn get the financial results that we're looking for internally from a business perspective. So I think as these conversations are elevating their way into, executive meetings and the boardroom, we're seeing a lot of, third-party consulting firms really grab onto this as well. If you think of McKinsey and Deloitte. So this is kind of coming at people from all different directions. Investors, as really we start to see the appreciation of net retention rate. Customer success and CCOs are essentially the de facto owner of that.
Kellie, here's a question for you on the net retention piece. So does someone own that at Gainsight?
Yeah, so this is a fun question. So I think it's a shared responsibility, quite frankly, and that's how we positioned it at Gainsight. I think the customer, it's a metric that we track and measure within our customer success organization, but we've been very intentional that even a gross retention rate, it's not one team that owns that number. Product has influence, right? In terms of our ability to retain customers. Sales team needs to make sure that we're targeting the ideal customer profile. Are we holding true to our ICP? Otherwise, it becomes almost an impossible feat to make those customers successful. So we're really trying to drive, wide and deep this notion of customer success as a team sport. I would say I'm sort of the ultimate owner of net retention and gross retention numbers at Gainsight, but it's in collaboration with these teams. And we've tried to create shared metrics and accountability across the team. So it's a shared vision from a company perspective.
Kellie, this has been fantastic. Again, massive congratulations on your promotion to Chief Customer Officer. Is there anything else you wish I asked you that I didn't ask you before we close?
Oh my goodness. First of all, it's been so much fun to be here and have this conversation. I always enjoy collaborating with you, Gemma. No, I think you nailed it. I guess one little thing I'll just throw out, maybe a bit, I don't know if controversial is the right way, but just something for, I think, us folks in customer success to chew on, is I often, one observation I have is that folks tend to almost think of customer success and sales like in opposition of each other. There's this unspoken tension, and sometimes CS doesn't want to be labeled as sales. But I encourage us, again, kind of going back to, if customer success is really the growth engine for our business, and then NRR is the North Star metric, success is really a continuation of sales, and we need to figure out how to work together. And I think that's why, end-to-end value frameworks and things like that are going to become the foundation for everything we do. So that's one of my missions, is to kind of break down those walls and start to change some of the perception in some organizations.
Most people like to do coffee dates with their guests, but why drink coffee when you could be drinking champagne?